Hello, welcome to your weather forecast. I'm your meteorologist, Mr. G, with Elite Weather, and we're going to be talking about this weekend's weather update. And as we take a look at our weather today, we're going to be talking more about the flooding through portions of the lower Mississippi Valley and the Ozarks, as well as over into the Four Corners in the desert southwest. We've been seeing that heavy rainfall leading to some flooding issues, and we have that heat across the Pacific Northwest as well. So let's take a look at our watches and hazards for right now. And what we are seeing out there is more issues with flash flooding through portions of the Four Corners here. So we got northern New Mexico and the northern half of Arizona, where we're going to be dealing with that flash flooding this afternoon. So that's the current watches and postings that the National Weather Service has at this moment right now. And the heat across the Pacific Northwest, the Northwest, yet again, as we're seeing excessive heat watch in place and heat advisories in place, as well as we're seeing those temperatures in excess of 100 degrees throughout the Pacific Northwest. Yet for one more day, that will probably continue until your Sunday before we start to see things kind of tone down a bit as we head into the work week next week. So that is a look at the main watches and hazards across America right now. And as we took a look at our radar, and this is going to be superimposed with our severe weather outlook for this afternoon, and the only place where we're expecting to see any severe weather as far as thunderstorms is concerned, it's going to be up here and through portions of the central and northern plains there through the Dakotas, where we could see some isolated severe storms pop off this afternoon, and those will be isolated, severe, very isolated. And these going to be what if storms in the northern plains today, where anything may not happen at all, but we do have that area of heavy rain here yet again in the Ozarks here. So we're talking southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. That heavy rain is continuing for that region yet again at this time, and more showers and storms along the Gulf Coast as well, as we're seeing that tropical moisture coming off of the Gulf of Mexico interacting with the landmass, and it's starting to cause those storms to develop down there. A few monsoon storms are just starting to get going, as it's still about 11 in the morning in the Four Corners, so it's still early in the day, but I'm telling you, as the day goes on, this area of the map is going to fill in there as those storms get going, and they're just starting to fire through portions of southern Arizona and New Mexico there. So here's our lightning tracker for this afternoon, and what we're seeing is a lot of lightning down across the southeast along that frontal boundary. We have some scattered thunderstorms and predominantly a lot of rainfall in this region, but there are a few lightning strikes associated with it. So there's a couple areas where we're seeing some thunderstorms, and those storms along the Gulf Coast are really getting started as well. And here is our Four Corners area with those monsoon storms that are getting going. So we're seeing the lightning strikes down across the southern deserts and the southern Rockies out there today. And here we are as we talk about your temperatures. That heat is going to continue across the state of Texas. So it's yet another hot day for the state of Texas, where some of you folks are going to be in excess of 100 degrees. We're going to get close to it in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, as you're going to hit 99 today. But there is our heat across the Pacific Northwest, and we're seeing those temperatures get close to 110 degrees for some areas, especially right on the leeward side of the Cascade Mountain Range, where we're seeing those temperatures get close to 110 directly to the east of the Cascades there. So that's that heat continuing across the Pacific Northwest, and we're going to start to warm up in the northern plains and the upper Mississippi Valley today. We're going to be starting to see those temperatures in the upper 80s and approach the lower 90s. So you've had a very pleasant week where we saw temperatures in the 70s for a few days this week. So the weather was very calm across the northern plains and the Great Lakes region, but we're going to start to heat up as we work our way through the weekend, and that heat is going to expand a little bit further into the northeast. And here is your weather forecast for the next 3 days. This afternoon, we're going to be seeing that heavy rainfall again from the Four Corners states over and through the Central Plains and the Ozark area. We're going to be seeing that heavy rainfall through this region one more day. So Yet again, that rainfall is going to be there causing those issues with flash flooding. We'll see more showers and storms in the southeast over into the Piedmont area as well. Nice weather across the Pacific Northwest, the Northeast. So New England and the Mid-Atlantic states are going to have a nice day with those temperatures in the 80s. Nice days through portions of the Great Lakes as well. A few showers are going to be possible through northern Minnesota and portions of the Dakotas, where we can see some isolated thunderstorms, and a couple of those might become severe, but that's going to be very isolated and widely scattered activity there. So not much rainfall is going to take place across the northern plains. And our heat advisories here across the Pacific Northwest will continue today as well, as some of those temperatures approach the 110-degree mark. And we're going to be seeing, again, those monsoons even spread into Southern California, where we could see some flooding issues down in the lower deserts, down around Palm Springs and maybe Indio. That area could see some storms produce some flash flooding issues as well. All right, for your Sunday, now this is for Sunday, we're going to continue to see the potential for some showers and storms here through the Four Corners, southern Arizona, where we're going to be seeing that flash flooding again, and we're going to be seeing the heat across the Pacific Northwest, another day of those triple-digit temperatures, and we're going to be seeing that our flash flooding threat shift a little bit to the east toward the mid-Atlantic states and the Piedmont and the Carolinas here. So Virginia and North Carolina, eastern Kentucky and eastern Tennessee, we're going to be seeing that heavy rain that could lead to some flooding issues for you. And still more rain and flooding for portions of Missouri and Arkansas for another day. I think this is going to finally start to break down as we get into Monday, but we will see that flooding potential in that region yet again. Nice across Florida and the Gulf Coast over to the state of Texas, but it will remain hot across the state of Texas yet another day in those low 100s. Nice weather in the Northeast and in the northern plains, and again a few showers here in the Pacific, in the northern, the upper Mississippi Valley, and in portions of the Great Lakes. We'll see a few showers and some thunderstorms in this region, but not a whole lot going on up there. And for your Monday, here we are. We're starting to see the amount of flash flooding issues diminish in this portion of the nation here along the mid Atlantic through the Appalachians into the lower Mississippi Valley and into the Central Plains. We're going to start to see it dry out and warm up in this region. We'll see those temperatures increase again, but we'll also start to see a little bit less in the way of flash flooding, as it's only in portions of the central Appalachian mountain ranges where we could be seeing that heavy rain. So we're talking about lower West Virginia and far eastern Kentucky is going to be dealing with that rain that could lead to some flash flooding. Our monsoons will start to decrease, but yet some storms will still be possible on Monday, but it won't be as much as we saw, as we're going to start to lose a little bit of our monsoon moisture. So a little bit less, a little bit fewer storms, but there's nevertheless can still be some storms out there, but we just won't quite see the flash flooding issues when we get to Monday. We do have a tropical system out there that's kind of going to be off on its own, and it's going to be doing its own thing down there across the eastern Pacific. So that is a look at the 3-day weather forecast. And here's our severe weather outlook. Not a whole lot going on today as far as severe weather, at least as far as thunderstorms is concerned. Well, we do have a slight chance of seeing, isolated. This is going to be our marginal threat for some severe weather across the northern plains today and through the Dakotas, but not a whole lot taking place right now. This is going to be very isolated to widely scattered activity, and the primary threat is going to be some gusty winds, and maybe an isolated tornado might form as well. Here we are for your Sunday. A little bit of severe weather across the central and northern Minnesota tomorrow. A marginal risk for severe weather, and that primary threat is going to be some heavy rainfall as well as some damaging wind, and small hail is going to be possible. And then we can see another little bit of area of severe weather down here along portions of North Carolina, where we could be dealing with some heavy rain as your primary threat and some gusty winds from some of those thunderstorms down in that region tomorrow. And for Monday, we do see a little bit more severe weather through portions of the Midwest and the eastern Great Lakes. Here we're going to be seeing that frontal boundary that's currently moving over the northern plains move out into the Great Lakes area, and it's going to help to trigger some marginal risk for some severe weather through portions of the Ohio Valley, the Illinois Valley, and into the Central Plains. So that is a look at our 3-day severe weather outlook. Oh, let me not forget about this region here through portions of Oregon that could also pick up an isolated severe thunderstorm in the afternoon as well. And that is a look at your 3-day weather forecast. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. I didn't produce a video yesterday as I was feeling a little bit under the weather, but I'm better today. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you tomorrow in tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.